Hi friends, it's Susan Smith with Stamp Creatively, and I have Spotlight on Nature, one of the new sets that'll be available in May from our new annual catalog. If you want a catalog mailed to you and you don't have a demonstrator, you can contact me via email or on my blog, which is stampcreatively.com. I am going to have a class with this bundle because I've enjoyed it so much and I felt like it was really easy to work with. So if you want to be a part of my class, the details will be on my blog soon, or they'll be in an email. You can sign up for my email. So this is what I've done so far. It comes with this stamp set and it comes with these circled eyes. So let me show you what I've done so far. This is with all these projects are done with the new ink colors in some way, shape, or form. This is the Shy Shamrock and Summer Splash. This is the new Peach Pie and the Eyelet embossing folder. I kind of stuck with the same things. That I used the dies to cut out the tulips. This is the Pretty in Pink and the Peony Pop. This one I embossed the whole front after I ran it through that eyelet die, after I colored it with some blends. This is some watercolor. These two are done virtually the same, just two different colors. And this is the one I'm going to show you today. I popped out that center and ran it through the embossing folder and embossed it again with Crystal Clear, just because I could. Okay. When you sign up for my class, I'm going to have two ways to do it. You can either order product from me and the class is $20, or you don't have to order it from me and the class is $40. It's totally up to you. I'm starting with a piece of basic white. I'm going to use two colors. I'm going to use Soft Sea Foam and Lost Lagoon. And I'm going to stamp some random leaves. In just the Soft Sea Foam. Now I'm going to add a little bit of Lost Lagoon to them. I wanted to create this pretty background that had a couple of different shades of greens in there. And because I'm stamping a couple of times with this, it's not going to transfer any of that Lost Lagoon to my Soft Sea Foam. Kind of stamping it off. I'm so excited about the new catalog. We've been able to pre-order some items, which I love. Okay, so I feel like I've got my pattern background pretty much the way I want it. I'm going to move these out of the way. Then I wanted to try something that I haven't used before. I have not used the Saddle Brown StazOn. So I'm going to do a couple of things with it. I'm going to add the word friend. This is the stamp's Dear Friend. And I have dear friends, but this one's just going to go to a friend. And so I'm going to put my word right here. So I've had my friend. I've added my friend. Then I'm going to take my pretty tulips. I'm going to put some pretty tulips on here. Aren't they pretty? I mean, it stamps so pretty. Make sure I got that into where I want it. I live out in the woods and I can grow daffodils like it's my job. I have beautiful daffodils, but the squirrels like my tulip bulbs too much. Can't get a tulip. I try, but I can't. So now I've kind of partied all over the front of that. I have a piece of scrap I'm going to add a butterfly to. So I've added my butterfly. I'm going to close this up. And we're going to do a little watercoloring. I have my watercolor pencils here. I'm going to choose a daffodil. I've got a melon mambo. I've got a fresh freesia. I need some greens. I have an old olive. I have a garden green. And I have a granny apple. Okay, so I'm going to use some watercolor pencils. Because I've stamped in StazOn, I can watercolor over the top of this really easily. I'm going to move my stamp paper. And I don't have to color in the lines. I'm not going to use enough water that I'm really going to pull off any of the greens of the things that I stamped. But I just want to add some color to these, to some of the leaves. And then when I do go over it with a little bit of watercolor, these will blend. I love the watercolor pencil. Well, I just like to color, but I like our watercolor pencils. Like, I can use these and I don't have to use any water. I can just color with them, or I can use a little bit of water and blend the color. I get to choose. That was a garden green. The granny apple was first. And now this is the old olive. And again, I'm not super worried about the lines. Staying in the lines, I guess. Way back, what feels like 100 years ago, I used to go to my kids' school and I'd say, now Mrs. Smith's here, you don't have to color in the lines. When you color with me, the boys would get so excited. I'll show you, I've done the tulips 2 different ways. With some of them I've added the yellow and some of them I haven't, so I'll show you. I'm going to add some yellow to my butterfly. Then I've got my freesia. So with this class, I've created so much with this so far. I can't wait to create some projects just for you. The ones that I create for this class won't be on any of my other videos. They'll be special. Right? Everybody likes a little special. But I'm excited. Again, I've really enjoyed working with this. I have some other stamp sets coming. This isn't the only stamp set I ordered. But I have some more coming, and I'm really excited to get my hands on some of them. I really like the new in colors. I mean, it doesn't hurt that it's spring. I can't forget my butterfly. Again, I've got to fussy cut that. So I'm not super concerned about staying in those lines. I'm going to add some of this melon mambo to some of my tulips. Oh, do I want it back here? Let's darken some of them back here. Stampin' Up! Gives me these pretty lines, and I can follow the lines and make it darker where they make it darker or lighter. I get to pick. Okay, I love our water painters. And sometimes I run water straight through them, and sometimes I use my don't drink cup. A water bottle with water. So I'm going to start over here. And I don't want it too wet, I just want to blend the color just a little bit. Okay, same way, I don't need to re-wet it. I'm just going to go over these tulips. Just a little bit of water. And blend those pretty colors. My dogs just decided to eat something. Who knows what it is? My office is downstairs, and so they do their barking upstairs most of the time. And they have different barks for different things. That's a bark that someone is on our road. We kind of live at the end of a private drive. If someone walks on the road or drives on the road and they don't like the car, they will let me know. In fact, it's funny because our doorbell hasn't worked for a while, and I actually don't need it because I have them. We have 2 big ones and 1 little one. The little one's sleeping at my feet. And the big ones, I have a white boxer. And then I have a boxer Rottweiler mix. She a big girl. She still thinks she's 10 pounds though when she tries to get on my lap. Okay, so I've colored all those. Let me show you. How did I do? Okay, so now I'm going to close this up so I don't spill it because I know how I am. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this circle. I'm going to lay it where I want it for the tulips that I want to highlight. And I'm going to come over here and cut it out. Wait, do I want that or do I want that? That's hard. Let's go there. So I'm not going to move my big boss over here. I mean, we have a big boss and a little boss. This is for the big boss. But it doesn't really work in the camera very well. At least I don't think. Because on some videos I've tried moving it over there and it just gets in my way. So I'm going to run this through. And then I'm going to take the center and I'm going to emboss it. Yes, I know I need new plates. But I'm going to use this embossing folder. I like this 3D eyelet. I'm going to put that right in there. It's funny, we have embossing that we do with our die cut machine, and then we have embossing that we do with the heat tool, and I'm using both on this project. So I've embossed it, and I'll line it back up here when I go to put it on my card, but I want to Versamark and embossing powder it first. So I'm going to take my Versamark, just going to put it all over the front of that. And I'm going to do the same thing with this butterfly. On one of the projects I did not emboss the butterfly. I just used my Wink of Stella, but I feel like it needs a little embossing powder. So I'll shake that off. I'm going to put this over here. We're going to emboss the whole front of that. Have you ever used up all of your embossing powder? It's kind of like a game. Can we actually use it all up? So far, I have not done a good job of using mine up. But I like it. Okay. This is not a blow dryer, so you have to start in one corner and let it heat up. And once you see it start to change, you can see it get shiny. Then I'm going to move it all the way across that image. And I know it's done when it's all shiny. See how shiny my butterfly is? And I'm going to do that to this. Isn't that lovely? Okay, now we're going to assemble this. And I used Old Olive on some of them. This one I'm going to use Garden Green. I'll show you the comparison here in just a second. Put this on here. I'm going to trim it. You know, sometimes I trim it before I mount it, sometimes I trim it after. It depends on how close I want it to be. I want this one to be pretty close. I mean, I just want a little margin around it. A little bit of a border. And sometimes that's harder to cut before I mount it than after. And then I have my Flirty Flamingo. I don't have any new in color pencils, but these match pretty good. So I've used different colors on each one of these. I'm going to use the white on this. I always tie my ribbon on the bolt. That way I don't waste ribbon. Nothing's worse for me than to clean up after class and find these great big pieces of ribbon in the trash. I'm like, what the heck? And then I'm just gonna, I tied it there, but I can adjust it just a little bit. Stick this down. Right there on the front. I'm going to use my dimensionals. And I'm going to put these kind of all around the edge because I want that whole thing to stand up really well. Sometimes I'll only use a couple of dimensionals, but this one, because it's embossed, I don't want it to tilt or do anything but be amazing. All right, let's line that up. Went this way. See, you can see a little bit of the green. I'm going to cut out my beautiful butterfly. And because I went over the edges a little bit, I'm good with a little bit of white on the outside of that stays on, because it's not white, because the color went over the edge. That's part of the reason why I do that, because then I don't have to worry about being so super detailed with the cut. I mean, there are those people who like to fussy cut. And I could have, if I didn't want to cut these out, I could have used those butterflies that are in the mini. They're going to carry over. They're so pretty. And then you don't have to cut. See, I could have used any of these butterflies and colored them the same way. So now I'm going to kind of rough my butterfly up a little bit. I'm going to put some glue dots on its body. And roll those up. And then I'm going to use some of these little mini glue dots. Or mini dimensionals. Prop that up. Oh, where do I want my butterfly? Dang it. I mean, it's hard to decide. Oh, let's put it right there. Okay, so there it is where I used some of the yellow. And this one, I only use the yellow on the butterfly, not on the tulips. And this one has that peachy ribbon. These two ribbons are in a duo together. This one has Old Olive behind it. This one I used the Garden Green, just for different shades of green. Okay, friends, you'll have to let me know which one you like better. I mean, do you like it with yellow, not yellow? If you have questions, please don't hesitate to ask. I'm always available. And if you sign up for my emails or check my blog, you'll get more details about that class. All right, friends, thanks for joining me. Have a great day. Bye.